All right, today we are going to discuss intimate thoughts of love, how we come to know love under normal and abnormal circumstances. So I ask you, is love a part of acceptance into society? We're going to take a portion from a book, Abnormal Psychology by Martin E.P. Seligman, University of Pennsylvania, Elaine F. Walker, Emory University, and David L. Rosenhan, Stanford University, 4th edition, Chapter 1, page 19 through 20. Part B, abnormality. Defining abnormality today. How our understanding of abnormality is articulated depends on the beliefs that dominate in a culture. The beliefs, customs, arts, etc. of a particular society, group, place, or time. Definition of culture. And epoch. An event or a time marked by an event that begins a new period or development, a memorable event or date. Historically, people have used animistic, physical, and psychogenic theories to explain disordered behavior. Today, biological and physiological levels of analysis are the two most viable approaches that continue to be offered to understand abnormality. The elements of abnormality. The act of defining the word abnormal suggests that there is some single property that all cases of abnormality must share. Such a shared defining property is called a necessary condition. Moreover, a precise definition of abnormal requires that there be at least one distinguishing element that only cases of abnormality share and no cases of normality share. This is called a sufficient condition of abnormality. We will look at 7 properties or elements that count toward deciding whether an action or person is abnormal. This analysis describes the way ordinary people and well-trained psychologists actually use the word. These elements of abnormality are suffering, maladaptiveness, irrationality, unpredictability, and loss of control, rareness and unconventionality, observer discomfort, violation of standards. The more of these elements that are present and the more clearly each can be seen, the more certain we are that the behavior or person is abnormal. At least one of these elements must be present for abnormality to exist. Now we're going to move on to a piece from a collection of essays that I've written called Essays of the Unspoken Mind. And this is the preface from those essays, pardon me. Acceptance, it's a preface again. Acceptance, medicine of the mind. Medicine for the mind, pardon me. The question may be asked, how does one become mentally ill? The answer is quite a journey to define, with biological and environmental stimuli affecting the outcome. While acceptance, besides nutrition, shelter, and warmth, remain amongst the key things that keep a human infant alive, as the child grows, environment defines acceptance within the household and in society. The rule is conform or be considered abnormal. Society has been conditioned to conform through education, politics, religion, and the media, and traditional family values. Anything or anyone that is considered different than ourselves or majority rule fits into the weird, abnormal, or other categories. Nonconformity threatens acceptance. It's easier to agree. Displacement emerges as an intangible self-object. Individuals need acceptance so much that they displace their true feelings in order to conform and fit in. These feelings are rampant in any society. Individualism suffers. Everyone wants to copy what's already accepted, what's already acceptable. How do you get rejected if everyone already likes what you're trying to do? This stigmatic induced displaced anxiety, the unwillingness to be true to oneself, forces minorities to be subliminally configured in the minds of others as abnormal or degenerative because they are different. Accepting differences or diversity becomes an issue that can be observed on an individual basis. How can we truly become a diverse society if we do not know and celebrate our very own individualism? To express their individualism can become, those who choose to express their individualism can become dejected and viewed by society's normal eye as weird, mentally unstable, or other. And indeed, some of them may be. However, normal is redefined per individual based on society's acceptable legal, social, and mental health factors. Displacement in an individual forces them to become fearful, suicidal, or violent in what they term a hostile and threatening environment. Today, we must truly embrace diversity in order to prevent false conformity, in order to prevent religious, social, and political class displaced anxiety in the form of 9/11 and the Columbine shootings, in order to make it an equal and economical, beneficial world for everyone. Individualism, will save the innovators of the future. True diversity will make acceptance of people's differences a normal and respectable facet in society. And now, how does acceptance of oneself and other people's differences cross over into love with respect to race, religion, and other cultural and social factors? What do you accept as love? Is it when someone takes care of you or takes care of you no matter what? Is it when mom or dad buys you things and sends you off, or they spend countless hours trying to help you understand your homework? Or is it both? How about if the person will kill for you? Do they love you then? Die for you? How about them? Today we're going to become intimate with love. We're going to see the different faces of love. Now I want you to close your eyes. Please don't open them until I say so. I want you to only rely on what you hear me say as your mental intake. I want you to immerse yourself into each scenario. Become the receiver or the giver of love in each circumstance. Quietly determine what's acceptable to you. Imagine being a newborn baby. You can't do anything for yourself. So when you want something, you simply cry. Now what happens if your cries go unanswered for extended periods of time? What kind of child might you be as you get older? Might you even die, as babies need human touch to survive? Now imagine yourself as a 5 or 6-year-old, defenseless against a sexual predator whom everyone likes and believes to be true and kind. You try to explain in your own words to your parents and to others what is happening to you, but they won't listen because the accused is a rock star at what they do. Imagine how you might experience love when you grow up. The situation is not stopped. You're a teenage girl or boy and you're in love. The person tells you they're ready for the big step, but you're not. You don't want to do that just yet. This person means the world to you and you don't know what you do without them. Do you give in and let them have their way with you? Do you accept their actions as love? You're an adult, a woman. Your husband makes love to you. You have several children and several years together, but ever so often, he beats you to a pulp. He beats you so bad each time you make him angry that you require medical attention and have to lie about your attacker's motives. The police have been to your house like they frequent a bar. Still you keep taking the beatings. Now the court system wants to take your children away and deems you unfit as a mother. Still, you love your husband. Is that love? Now you're that sexually abused child and you're having to go outside for recess. For some reason, the other kids don't like you. They say you're too quiet. You're weird because you won't talk. The girls pull your hair and call you ugly and stupid. The boys throw rocks at you and spit at you and sometimes on you. And all the while this is happening, you're thinking you shouldn't be so weird. You should talk. You should play like everyone else. But your spirit is in a cage and it can't get out. No one will unlock the chained up bird cage and let you out of your mockery, and let you out of the mockery of your situation. Do you feel loved? You're a grown man now, but as a youth, you killed someone in a grisly crime. You wanted to prove a point. No one should mess with you. The judge gives you life in prison with no parole. You're raped, and now occasionally you help the rapist rape, so they won't rape you. You feel so small inside. You want to kill them, and one day you fear you will. But on this day, you will die also because you will have killed again. Every day you pray to God to remove them. Every day you pray for guards who aren't corrupt. Every day you pray to be set free. No one has visited you in over 30 years. You keep seeing your family's faces. You imagine they love you again. You're sorry, you're so sorry, but no one will believe you. No one will ever love you again. This is how you feel. You're somebody's pet, a dog or a cat. Your owner comes home every day, and depending on what kind of day they've had, you might get thrown against the wall, kicked in the face, hit with a broomstick just for trying to rub against their leg. And when you look up at them, you wonder if they love you. You've run away countless times, but the neighbors keep bringing you back. Now you just wait for death, should it come, because you don't know what else to do. When other cats or dogs come around, they won't play with you, or some of them do. They lay with you to help ease your sorrow. For a moment you feel love until they leave. You're trapped. Now you're pregnant for the first time. The doctor tells you, and you're right in the middle of your career. The doctor also tells you that you can't keep the baby. The baby is killing you, and you can't choose between your life and the baby's, and no one understands why. And all you can hear is the baby crying from the womb, begging for its life. Who do you love more, yourself or the child? Or would you rather risk it all? Now you're you again. How might you experience love? Maybe no tragedies have befallen you. Maybe you just fell in love with someone who didn't love you back. It hurts so deeply in your mind, you will never love again. You'll never love anyone again. No one will get the chance to hurt you again. Now you only want sex. Has love left you? How can you get it back? Do you need it back? Now open your eyes. Who are you? What are you worth? Why should anyone love you? Heterosexual, homosexual, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, no matter who or what you are, you will transition through love. You will have to determine for yourself what is acceptable as love. I can only say that love should not destroy you. It should build you up. You should build your partner up. If you're tearing each other down in a friendship, a familial situation, no matter the situation, seek counseling. If it doesn't work, you should consider letting go. Define love as it matters to you. I find God's love is never ending, no matter how imaginary or foolish some may think it is. God exists in your body, mind, and spirit. He is love. Now I'm going to ask you some of these questions. I want you to be honest. Tell me either yes, it's love and why, or no, it's love and why. It's obsession or something else, or no comment. So what I'm going to do now, and thank you for listening, I'm going to go back over those scenarios, and I want you to tell me what you think is love, just as it says here. Okay? All right, so today, let me see. Imagine being a newborn baby. You can't do any, yeah. I'm sorry, people, I told you that's nervous. Imagine being a newborn baby. You can't do anything for yourself, so when you want something, you simply cry. This statement. Is that love? What happens when someone just leaves you crying when you're a child, a baby, an infant? You can't do anything for yourself. Is that love, or what do you think it is? Neglect.
Like you just said, abandonment, neglect.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe asking if when the baby cries, is that a sign of love, or is that a sign of I need love?
To me, that's a sign of I need love, because when you're a child, the only way you can communicate when you're an infant, you can cry. That's all you can do. And for someone to ignore that, to me, that's
Neglect and abuse.
that's what it is to me. I don't get that. It has to do with something called letting a child self-soothe, but that goes as they get older and you're trying to wean them off of being so dependent. But anyway.
They said it's tough love when you just let the baby cry.
Well,
They told me.
yeah.
There are some theories that say that let babies learn how to soothe themselves. I tried it.
But that's weird.
It doesn't. It's very hard to do, I don't advise parents to do that, because babies, if they don't get enough love, they will touch and human love. They will die.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. Okay.
But I don't think you can love a baby too much.
Maybe.
They'll be spoiled brats, but you can deal with that later on.
Exactly. I agree with that. Okay. So, how about when you're an adult and you're a woman and your husband is beating you, and you just keep coming back, and now they want to take your kids, and you still say, "I love him."
That's not love.
That's retardation.
Shut up. No, that's just being oblivious to
Especially when they
facts.
take your kids, you're supposed to raise your kids more than anything, so if they take your kids.
Something wrong with it.
Still love it.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. It's good you brought that up. I have seen situations like that where they're willing to let their kids go to the system and keep the gentleman in the house.
Right.
So I have honestly seen situations like
That
that.
ain't no generous.
Say male.
Male, but you know
Men
male.
don't do
You
that.
ain't even know me.
Okay.
Say male.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more, and then,
We haven't gotten to abuse yet, but it's complicated, isn't it?
yeah.
And it's a cycle.
Going both ways.
You're pregnant for the first time, the doctor tells you, you know, hey, you're all in the middle of your career, and the doctor's like, you keep this baby, you die. What do? You can't make up your mind.
That got something to do with unconditional love. If you sit there and you have the baby, knowing that you're gonna die, that's just the love of your child. It's more complicated than just you and the baby.
Okay, I appreciate that.
What's
So,
the name of that movie with the 7 Southern women? One girl had diabetes and they told her,
Still Magnolia.
they told her if you have a baby, you'll die.
And right, when she had it,
Not 2 years later.
but that was unconditional love.
But still, it can end up worse because if the baby come out and you die, then you gonna be all messed up. Or you take a chance of 50-50 chance of both y'all dying.
okay, but see, as someone was saying, unconditional love. So, who do I love more, myself or my child, or am I willing to
Love the
risk it all?
child.
Am I willing to risk it all? Maybe I'm gonna give it to God and say, I'm going to do this, no matter what.
Right.
T-Boz did that of TLC.
Yeah, with the lupus, she had the baby.
Yeah, they told her, hey, you keep that baby, you're gonna die. She was like, really? Okay, so what if I tell you that all of these scenarios are love?
I believe.
I would, no.
Even the fact that the woman was getting beat,
Yeah.
I still believe it.
I don't
Because
believe
it's complicated. You can't judge the situation until you get in it.
You have to know what you have to, exactly too, but you have to factor in all the abnormalities of the situation. So someone has learned a perception of what they think is love. So it's love to that person, but it's abnormal. So do they know that it's abnormal love? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't even care. Maybe they're so far gone that they don't care. And then for those people who see someone like a T-Boz who keeps her child, you know, and risks her life, you fool, you should have done that. You know, so not everyone will agree. That's the whole point of love. Love is a very, very complicated, complex thing. It is determined by an individual's beliefs, societal beliefs, familial beliefs. All that comes into play when a person gets ready to say, I love you to someone. For example, if you have a black family that doesn't like white people and you find a white man and that man loves you and you want to bring him home and you know your family gonna be like,
What you do?
Someone is writing on interracial dating in this class. That is a scenario that does happen.
But some people do it for the wrong reasons.
right, right.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
Most of them do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an
that's,
equal opportunity dater, EEO.
What is it, Dad?
White,
There.
black,
She dated them all.
Latino, Asian.
She down. Latino,
I didn't Asian guy. Only for a few weeks, that doesn't work.
And then we're out. What's kind of going on?
Don't talk about it.
yeah, but that gets back to the first part, or rather the second part of the preface of my essays of the unspoken mind. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying how people, they're so afraid of differences and being an individual that, okay, I don't want to like her if she likes white people. I don't want to like him if he likes black people.
Right.
You know, and so you gotta be accepting. And so if you're not accepted, then what do? Some people can't face that fear. They will do anything
To be a son.
to be accepted. Yep.
I ain't gonna say that it's the wrong reason.
Anything. So that,
They don't know the definition of self-worth.
right. It's all about all of those things.
Well, how do you get past that? Because nobody had a perfect family. Some of us learn some good things, bad things from our parents. But I did tell my students that, you know, when you become an adult, you do often model what you've learned in your family and your community. How do you learn to create your own love map? Your own one that's just you and you alone, unique, that you feel is good for you. Because I did have the students do an assignment about their love map or typology of what they feel they want and need in life. And that's very important for all of us to do. At some point, we have to break away from our parents' values and attitudes, even our community, because truthfully, sometimes those things that we learn are not accurate. All white people are not bad.
Can I tell you something?
Some are.
It all depends on the person, the situation.
But how do you become, like you said, an individual where you can make decisions that are based on what you need and what you want? One of the problems, especially with intimacy and love, is that we're worried about and looking at what everybody else is doing.
Right.
That's how you, when you stop worrying about and looking at what.
How do you get there?
You separate yourself.
Basically.
Right, but you separate yourself by first, you have to know who you are.
Right.
You have to say, for example, I say I'm Darlene Fenrick Washington.
Right.
And I have to do what works for me, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I can't focus on what works for you.
Right.
I gotta work on what works for me. And if that makes you walk away from me and that we have to stand alone,
That's what you gotta do.
that's what you do. But again, remember, some people will not do it.
It all depends on the people. Some people ain't strong enough.
Exactly, some
Right.
people aren't strong enough.
Different strokes, different folks.
They won't do it. That's when you talk about when you have leaders and
We
followers.
talk about encouraging.
I feel like self-love and loving another person is interconnected. I feel like you have to, I feel like.
Wait, one person speaking. Go ahead, one more, because we only got a few minutes. Go
I feel
ahead.
like when you love yourself, like, it affects how you love other people. Because, like, for instance, on a bad day, if I feel bad about myself, I can't give the love to other people. Like, and now I feel like that's all interconnected. Like, when you was talking about the baby, like, and the love of God too. Like, that's all interconnected. Like, all of it.
Yeah, it is. It is, because if you don't feel good about yourself, it's her point. How are you going to give love to someone else? And the truth is, you will give what you are capable of giving as love at that time. And guess what? That person is learning that. That is how you give love. And now, they don't want your love because your love stinks to them. Or your love is good to them. And now, whatever kind of love you was dishing out, whether you knew it was your best or not, they're accepting it. That's how you get into those abusive situations.
It all depends on.
Oh, yeah, we gotta wrap up at 12:30.
Yeah, I was not so much on myself.
You've given us some really metaphysical things to think about. Thank you for listening to Darlene speak. If you guys have any questions, go to her website. She'll communicate with you back.